The banquet hall glowed with candlelight, every polished surface dripping with gold and crystal. Shen Yuan stepped into the hall, a wineglass on his hand. Across the room, Lin Xun stood with a small circle of nobles, black-clad and precise. He was still, too still, like a blade at rest. Their eyes met. Shen Yuan's breath caught for just a moment before his lips curved into a slow, polite smile. Polish the mask. Let the game begin. A courtier drifted over. "Lord Yan, have you met His Grace, Duke Lin Xun?" Shen Yuan turned, extending his hand. "Duke Lin," he drawled, the faintest edge of amusement curling his voice. "I've heard so much." Lin Xun's eyes flicked over him, sharp, assessing. Their fingers brushed in the briefest of handshakes. Lin Xun's skin was cool against his own, and the contact left a faint ghost of sensation in its wake. "And you are?" Lin Xun asked, voice low, the kind of voice people leaned in to catch. "Yan Wu," Shen Yuan replied, letting the name fall between them like the first move on a chessboard. For a flicker of a moment, something sparked in Lin Xun's gaze. Interest, calculation, the corner of his mouth barely lifting. "A pleasure, Lord Yan." Shen Yuan let the silence stretch, just a heartbeat too long, before tipping his glass lightly. "Let's be friends," he said, voice smooth as honey, eyes gleaming sharp as a blade beneath. Lin Xun's lips curved in a faint, almost smile, the kind that never reached his eyes. "Friends?" he murmured, lifting his own glass. They both lied. Across the hall, music swelled, laughter echoed, but between them the world narrowed to a single charged line, eye to eye, mask to mask, predator to predator. As the nobles drifted away, Shen Yuan turned, his gaze sliding to Lin Xun's retreating figure. "You don't recognize me yet," Shen Yuan thought, his heart thudding steady beneath his calm facade. "But you will." The low flicker of candlelight painted gold along the edge of the chessboard, casting long shadows across polished wood. Black and white pieces glinted as if watching the players in still, patient silence. Between them, the air hummed, subtle, electric. Lin Xun's fingers brushed along the rim of his bishop before sliding it smoothly forward. The faint scrape of wood on wood sounded louder than it should have in the quiet room. "Bold move," Lin Xun murmured, eyes flicking up, pale and sharp. "You don't play cautiously, Lord Yan." Shen Yuan leaned back in his chair, crossing one leg over the other with a casual elegance. His hand lifted, fingers cradling the knight between thumb and forefinger. A lazy smile ghosted his lips. "I don't like safe games, where's the fun in that?" Shen Yuan answered. Lin Xun's lips curved. Just a breath, just the barest shadow of a smirk. He settled back, arms folding loosely as he studied the man across from him. His gaze was slow, deliberate, sliding over Shen Yuan's face, his hands, his posture, like a man inspecting a puzzle he intended to solve. "You remind me of someone," Lin Xun said, his voice dropping to a quieter note. Shen Yuan's pulse jumped hard in his throat, but he only tilted his head, letting his smile sharpen at the edges. "Do I?" Lin Xun's fingers drummed lightly on the edge of the table. For a moment, a flicker of memory darkened his gaze, and then his mouth curved again, this time with the faintest, cruelest edge. "Yes, a stray I once picked up," Lin Xun murmured. His voice slid lower, smoother, almost a whisper. "He bit when he should have bowed." Shen Yuan's fingers tightened around the knight. A flash of tension, gone in a blink. Then smoothly, he set the knight down on the board, a sharp, deliberate motion, knocking Lin Xun's queen onto its side. The heavy piece toppled and rolled slightly, bumping against the edge of the board. Shen Yuan met Lin Xun's eyes across the scattered pieces. "Good thing I'm no one's pet," he said lightly, his voice warm. For a long moment, neither of them moved. The only sound was the faint crackle of the fireplace. Then Lin Xun's gaze softened. Not with kindness, but with something far more dangerous. Interest. "Well played, Lord Yan," he murmured, voice threaded with quiet amusement. Shen Yuan leaned back, slow and deliberate, feeling the coil of triumph twist low in his chest. Years ago, the room smelled of sandalwood and cold iron. Torchlight flickered against stone walls, casting long shadows that danced like restless spirits. The only sound was the faint shuffle of knees against the floor, and the quiet, measured breathing of the man seated in the high-backed chair. "Come here," Lin Xun commanded, his voice smooth as silk drawn over steel. Shen Yuan crept forward on trembling knees. His thin frame moved through the flickering light. Sharp elbows, narrow shoulders, skin stretched tight over bone. His head remained bowed, dark hair falling into his eyes. His hands, scraped and raw, curled against the floor as he inched closer. He could feel Lin Xun's gaze sliding over him. Cool, assessing, patient. Closer. Shen Yuan's breath hitched as Lin Xun's fingers brushed through his hair, the touch gentle. 2 fingers tilted his chin upward, forcing his gaze to lift. For a heartbeat, Shen Yuan drowned in the pale, cold eyes above him. "You're useful. You listen, you learn," Lin Xun murmured, the faintest curve to his mouth. Not quite a smile, never quite a smile. Lin Xun's thumb traced the edge of his jaw. A touch that was both possessive and absent-minded. "Stay that way and you'll live well," Lin Xun said. Shen Yuan swallowed hard. His skin prickled under the weight of the words, part terror, part desperate, aching need. He wanted to flinch away. He wanted to lean in. His chest twisted with both. His lips parted on a whisper of breath. "Yes, Your Grace." He would have done anything for this man. He did. Shen Yuan's fingers curled into fists against the cold stone as the memory of blood, hot on his hands, staining his skin, flickered behind his eyes. "I killed for you," he thought, "across years and lifetimes. I was yours." "Did you hear?" The whispers rippled through the marbled corridors of the court like smoke slipping under a door. "The Duke's ships, gone. A fire at the docks. His fortunes burning to ash." In a private parlor tucked away from the buzz of nobles, Shen Yuan reclined on a velvet chaise, his fingers loose around a crystal glass of wine. The air was warm with the crackle of the hearth, shadows flickering across carved wood panels. Lin Xun poured him another glass with steady hands. The rich red of the wine caught the firelight as it filled the glass. "You're in a good mood tonight," Lin Xun remarked, watching him over the rim of his own glass. Shen Yuan's lips curved as he accepted the drink, fingers brushing over Lin Xun's. A light, careless touch. "I always enjoy the fall of the mighty, don't you?" Shen Yuan said, his voice honey smooth, the faintest glint of mischief dancing in his eyes. Lin Xun's mouth curved, not a smile. His eyes, pale as ice, pinned Shen Yuan with quiet intensity. "Be careful, Lord Yan," Lin Xun murmured, leaning in slightly. His voice lowered, slipping past the surface charm like a blade through silk. "The mighty don't fall quietly." The faint scent of wine lingered on his breath, sharp and sweet. For a heartbeat, the room contracted around them, the muted crackle of the fire, the faint scrape of glass against wood, the heat that seeped from Lin Xun's body despite the cold control he wore like a second skin. Shen Yuan's chest tightened, his mask wavering at the edges. "Damn you." For the briefest moment, the old instinct surged up. To lean in, to press his mouth to that cruel, unbending line, to surrender like he had a lifetime ago. But surrender wasn't in the script anymore. With a soft, low laugh, Shen Yuan leaned back, crossing one leg over the other with elegant ease. "Good advice, Your Grace," he said lightly, swirling his wine. "But I don't play quietly either." Lin Xun's gaze flicked over him, something sharp and assessing glinting at its edges. The game between them was shifting, and they both felt it.